Gold price outlook. Bullion aiming higher on Dovish FOMC. Biden lead. The haven-associated U.S. dollar and Japanese yen move higher during Asia-Pacific trade as U.S. presidential election votes continue to be tallied. Australia's ASX 200 index crept higher alongside Japan's Nikkei 225, while S&P 500 futures nudged marginally lower. Gold and silver slipped despite yields on U.S. 10-year treasuries holding relatively steady. The increasing likelihood of a Joe Biden presidency could continue to buoy the price of liquidity-driven precious metal prices, despite the fight for control of the U.S. Senate expected to prolong until January 5th. At the time of writing, Mr. Biden has 4 paths to win just 6 more electoral college EC votes, while incumbent President Donald Trump has 1 route to achieve the 56 EC votes needed to retain the White House. Crude oil prices sink, gold soars on U.S. vote count as jobs report nears. Crude oil prices declined over the past 24 hours as anti-fiat gold prices soared. Most of the focus from investors were on ongoing tallies from the U.S. presidential election. After taking key swing states Wisconsin and Michigan, Joe Biden narrowed the gap against Donald Trump in other ones such as Georgia and Pennsylvania during Friday's Asia-Pacific trading session. Mr. Trump closed in on Joe in Arizona. On Thursday, key OPEC member Saudi Arabia announced that it is cutting oil prices for customers in Asia. Meanwhile, prospects of a Joe Biden win likely had oil traders focusing on his campaign promise to shift away from fossil fuels over time. Rising coronavirus cases in the U.S. also likely contributed to some weakness in energy prices. The nation surpassed 120,000 confirmed reports, raising isolated lockdown prospects. Trump versus Biden on economies and markets. A decade after the Great Recession, Americans are dealing with the worst economy since the Great Depression, onset by the coronavirus pandemic. U.S. growth cratered in the second quarter of 2020, with inconsistent evidence emerging of a widespread V-shaped recovery in the third quarter. Now, past the Labor Day holiday, we are officially in the U.S. presidential election season, and the state of the economy amid the coronavirus pandemic is at the top of voters' minds as they weigh sending back to the White House Republican Donald Trump or Democratic nominee and former Vice President Joe Biden. Indian Rupee Nifty 50 forecast. USD INR sinks on U.S. election. Index eyes record high. Following some initial weakness, the Indian Rupee seems to be back on the offensive against the U.S. dollar. The Nifty 50, India's benchmark stock index, is also gaining ground. This followed rising expectations of Joe Biden winning the U.S. presidential election against incumbent Donald Trump. In fact, emerging market assets have been benefiting from this scenario, as it could mean less global trade friction in the coming 4 years. The MSCI Emerging Markets Index, EEM, recently soared to its highest since the first half of 2018. What's the technical road for USD, INR, and the Nifty 50 from here?